want to see five true Halloween horror stories animation, bro. I'm excited because it's Halloween at there, bro. Oh yeah, one thing, bro. Yeah, I've been everything for like a year, bro. I didn't wear it on Halloween, bro. So I wore this like last year, so I'm gonna that I think. Let's get started, bro. Shall we, bro? Alright, oh shoot. Alright, let's get started, bro. Alright. He's better though. Oh shoot, that is too bright. I don't know, bro. I had to use it, bro. It's good. It's recording. Okay, yes.
2 years ago, me and my best friend, V, were hanging out on Halloween night. We were roommates living in a small house, and both of us were on our last year of college. Obviously, we were too old to do any of the normal Halloween things, but we still wanted to do something. None of our more creative ideas really sounded good, and we ended up deciding on just making cookies and watching a scary movie. It was only 8, so most of the grocery stores were still open. I got in my car and drove down to the store to pick up some cookies to bake, along with frosting and some Halloween-themed sprinkles. As I was in the aisle, though, I noticed a man staring at me from the other end. I didn't look at him directly, but I could see in the corner of my eye that he was looking at me for the whole time I was in the aisle.
Yo.
Being that it was a holiday, the whole store was mostly empty, so seeing this guy being creepy like that was really unnerving. I quickly got what I needed and walked away, checking out and getting in my car. By the time I was out of the parking lot and onto the main road, I'd already forgotten about the man in the store. As I drove, there were very few cars out. I guess most people had already checked in for the night. I pulled into my street and parked on the driveway, but as I got out with the groceries, a car passed by the house. They were going really slow, like maybe 5 miles per hour. Their windows were tinted, so I couldn't see who was inside or what they were doing. But once they got past my driveway, they sped up and drove off, making it clear that they were purposefully going slow only by my house. It made me feel a little uncomfortable. I told V about it when I got inside, but he didn't seem to think much of it. We put the cookies in the oven and sat in the kitchen while they baked, talking about which movie we were going to watch, until the doorbell rang. Then V got up and went to the door. I watched from the kitchen as he looked in the peephole for a second, then opened the door just a few inches. I heard V say something, then a few seconds passed before he closed the door and locked it. He turned around, looking even more confused than before, and walked back to the kitchen. I asked who it was and what they wanted. V said it was some guy, but when he asked what he needed, the guy didn't say anything, so V closed the door. Apparently he was wearing a cheap plastic mask, but from the other features V described about him, it kind of sounded like the man I'd seen at the store. I didn't know if it was just me being paranoid though. I got up and went to see for myself, walking quietly up to the door and looking out the peephole. No one was there anymore. But as I stayed and looked, I saw a car parked across the street. The same one that passed by earlier, now sitting right in front of our house. Its lights were off and didn't seem to be running. I told V, explaining everything and getting him to come look at the car. But then there was a thud that echoed through the house. We stopped and listened, hearing it again, coming from the basement. I walked over and opened the basement door, looking down the staircase as the thuds got louder, until it went quiet. There was a moment before there was the faint sound of footsteps shuffling through the basement. I shut the door softly without making any noise, and V was already calling the police. The basement door didn't have a lock on it, so I was just pressing my body against it and hoping for the best. The muffled footsteps went across the basement and to the bottom of the stairs, where they stopped. As I listened, the suspense made me more and more scared. V grabbed my shoulder and told me to come with him as he ran to the front and out of the house. We quickly got in my car and drove a few streets down, then waited for the police to arrive. When they did, nobody was inside. But the basement door was wide open, and in the basement were shoe prints coming from the window well that had been broken open. The car was gone, so the man had of course driven away, but it seemed like he left as soon as he noticed we weren't in the house anymore, because he didn't take anything. Whoever that guy was had followed me from the store, stalked us, and then broke in. We don't know why he did any of it, but I just hope that I never have to find out. It was 2018, and I was still in middle school at the time. Me and my friend group were really excited for Halloween, mostly because we knew this would probably be our last year trick-or-treating, since we were getting too old for it. Our school only had a half day, which was really nice, but we didn't meet up until 5. By then, the sun was starting to set, which got us all more in the mood to go running around and get as much candy as possible. There were 3 of us, all just wearing black clothes with random masks we'd found a couple days before. It was pretty low effort, but still enough to pass as trick-or-treaters. Anyway, we started by meeting at my house, then moved our way through the neighborhood. Our goal was to get to the other side of the neighborhood, where there were custom houses on a street where all the rich people lived. It was separated from the rest of the houses and quite the walk, but we knew that they'd have to be handing out full-sized candy. We stopped by most of the houses on the way there, taking us almost 2 hours before we got to the big houses. By then, most of the other kids had gone home, and the sidewalks were mostly empty. It was late, since we'd started a bit behind, but it wasn't so late that people would be going to bed or anything. As we walked up to each big house, though, we realized a mistake in our plan. All the houses were really far apart. It took probably 5 minutes of walking to each door, so we had to jog to every house just so we could get through them all in time. By the time we finished, the last few houses had all their lights off, and no more people were answering their doors. It was just past 9 p.m., so it was really dark out and really late. We all agreed it was time to go and head back to my house so we could watch some movies and eat some of the candy. But just as we began walking down the street, we saw a man walking toward us. It was way too dark to see what he looked like, but it was definitely an adult wearing a hood covering his face. And he was alone. It was just us and him on the road. We all felt a little weird that someone would be walking around like that on a holiday where kids were running around, so we moved over to the other side of the road. As we passed the man, he watched us from the other side. He tried to hide it, but it was pretty obvious he was looking right at us. This was really weird behavior, and none of us wanted to stick around. but we were all exhausted from having to run from house to house over the past couple hours, so we opted for just walking quickly and checking behind us to make sure we weren't being followed. After a few minutes, we felt like we'd put a good distance between us, but out of nowhere, my friend in front stopped abruptly, causing me to bump into him and stumble back. I jokingly called him a few choice words, but when I looked up, I immediately went quiet. There was a hooded man standing at the side of one of the houses ahead, hiding between the trees in the woods just outside of the reach of the streetlights. All we could see was his figure, but from the looks of it, it had to be the same man we'd just seen. He was just standing there, as if he was waiting for us to get closer. We were all whispering to each other as we stood in the road and tried to decide what to do, but there wasn't much to decide on. There was only one way out, which was the way we were heading, so we kept walking, keeping our eyes on the man. As we got closer and closer, just about to pass him, he started quickly walking out of the woods and toward us. All of us started running, making a break for the trees on the other side of the road. We stayed together, running into the woods in the direction that we hoped would lead to the other neighborhood. But the further in we got, the darker and more difficult to navigate it became, especially while running at full speed. After a minute or so, we realized the man had either lost us or stopped following. We took a moment to collect ourselves, leaning up against a tree. Only a minute passed before we heard footsteps in the leaves somewhere out in the woods nearby. We silenced our breathing as best we could and listened as they slowly moved through the dark, eventually fading out. We waited a bit to make sure it was safe, then hurried out of the woods and made it back to my house. None of us had the nerve to call the cops, but we didn't see any other kids outside on our way back, so hopefully they'd already gotten home. We don't know what that man was trying to do, but chasing us into the woods and continuing to try to find us only makes it more terrifying. We stopped going out for Halloween after that, but I still get chills thinking about that night.
I had to cut that because I'm not watching the whole thing. It is true. It is true. When you go on a trick or treat, bro, and you see a person walk towards you, behind you, let's pretend you didn't hear nothing. Let's pretend you didn't hear nothing, right? I'm looking at. Okay, I was even looking at you. I was looking at this over here. So what I was saying is, hey guys, what happened? You walked alone. You walked two of your friends, right? And you've been followed, but you don't know. You don't know where someone was behind you. But they don't know where you live, though. Be with it. You have to be smart. Like, you have to get away from that. I can no longer let it slide to go alone like this. No, bro. On to the next video, bro. Hold on. This video is called Ouija board. I don't use that, you guys. I don't use that, for real. I don't use that. Alright, I don't use that plain like that. Yeah, you can see right here. Jesus right here, bro. I think I got a cross right here behind my drawer. I'm gonna get that later. I mean, not later, but soon. I want to put it right here, guys. I put it up there, it's gonna fall, bro. I swear to God. So, alright. Y'all can hear this.
The story I am telling you now is something that happened to me 7 years ago when I was in college. At that time, I had a best friend named Charles. Charles dreamed of being an exorcist and always said that he wanted to exorcise evil spirits with his own hands. Since he wanted to practice, he would often use a Ouija board to summon evil spirits. One day, he told me that he needed help exorcising evil spirits and asked me to use the Ouija board with him. Since I didn't believe in such things, I just went to Charles' house without thinking much about it. I couldn't have imagined the consequences that choice would bring. At midnight, we lit candles and started using the Ouija board. But that's when the event I will never forget occurred. Charles called out, "Devil! Evil spirit! Come here!" Then Charles asked if anyone was present in the room, and the pointer moved.
Stupid people, whoever plays that, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. That's on y'all. Y'all getting possessed. You could call the country people from the movie, bro. Come on, bro. You're that dumb. If you play this, then what happens? You forget to say goodbye. That is a bad part right there. If you lately forgot, that means yeah, he's gonna live with you, bro. Nah. But let me just say, you're gonna live with it. You're gonna die. So let me.
Yes. When Charles asked, "What is your name?" the pointer moved to Moloch. Charles muttered to himself, "Okay, Moloch, show us your physical form. What do you look like?" After this, the pointer didn't move, and the room was still and silent. Then Charles shouted, "Show us your terrifying face!" But at that moment, suddenly a appeared on Charles' forehead. I screamed in surprise. I thought I was hallucinating. Charles looked over at me, not knowing what was going on, and the eyes on his forehead, which looked like snake eyes, moved around very strangely. When I pointed to Charles' forehead and shouted, "Your forehead!" Charles touched his forehead and screamed, "Ah! What is this?" Then a small mouth appeared on his forehead, and the mouth spoke in a strange voice. "Look in the mirror, Charles." And then
This is when I'm saying this. This is his fault. It's not his fault. Let's just blame on him. Let's just blame on this guy right here. I'm not laughing about the forehead. I'm laughing about his face. He just
and covered Charles' face. Charles ran into the hallway, howling, and I followed him. Charles screamed and went into the bathroom, turned on the shower, and a moment later came out of the bathroom soaking wet. Some of the blood remained smeared on his face, giving him a faint red glow. Charles stood there with a blank expression. The eyes and mouth were gone from his forehead. Charles and I couldn't say anything. What the hell happened? Charles' body was shaking. Then Charles ran back into the room and shouted, "I know how to exorcise! I'll send these evil spirits to heaven!" Charles picked up a book and opened it. The title of the book seemed to be about exorcism. But at that moment, I saw it. Something crawled out from the corners of the dark room. They were people the size of small dwarves. Their bodies were black, with red bumps sticking out of their backs and long tails. They were crawling on all fours toward Charles. I thought I was hallucinating once again, but Charles was seeing them too. I saw his fearful expression and the tears in his eyes. The black dwarves crawled towards Charles and began to gnaw at his legs. Blood flowed from his legs as he screamed in pain. I shouted to Charles in a trembling voice, asking what to do.
and he managed to look at the book he was holding and began to recite a spell. However, he could not read properly because of the pain and just continued to scream. Then I saw numerous black blisters forming on Charles' legs, and I saw black liquid bursting out of them. The dwarves were crawling up Charles' body, gnawing at every part of him. Charles's eyes rolled back, and he screamed so much that he lost consciousness. I thought that his parents would come to the room because Charles was screaming so loudly, but for some reason, no one came to the room. After about 5 minutes, Charles' whole body was covered with thousands of black blisters, and black liquid covered his body. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I didn't know what to do. Eventually, the black dwarves crawled back into the corner and disappeared. I stood there blankly, unable to do anything. Tears flowed from my eyes like crazy, and when I looked at the clock, it was 3 a.m. I called the police, and the police and Charles's parents were shocked when they saw Charles' body. They rushed Charles to the hospital. They asked me what the hell had happened, but no matter how much I told them, they never believed me. It was natural that they couldn't believe it. If it were me, I wouldn't have believed it either. Charles received emergency surgery and fortunately did not die. But it took 3 months for his body to recover to its original state. The doctor said she had no idea what caused Charles's body to suddenly become blistered like that. Ever since that night, Charles has not used the Ouija board again. And he's also given up on his dreams of becoming an exorcist. He's become a very quiet person. He does not socialize and mostly just stays in his room. Time has passed, and I do not keep in touch with Charles anymore, but sometimes I wonder how he's doing now.
Oh my.
My name is Samira, and this is a haunting story that was passed down from my grandfather to my mother, and now to me. Years ago, before my parents came to Canada, they used to live in a small village in a war-torn country in East Africa. During that time, there was a war that had been happening in the country for the last 4 decades, and because of that, there were reported hauntings in many places based on the deaths that were happening daily. To give an idea of what might have happened, I come from a long line of exorcists, so there are a lot of instances of family members dealing with the supernatural. My maternal grandfather was notorious for his experiences, and he did so many exorcisms that half the time he would encounter spirits almost on a daily basis. In this story, we'll call him Jabbar. One day, Jabbar was riding his bike through the forest, heading to another village to run an errand. Several miles down the road, he encountered a gentleman who was walking down the road. The man halted my Jabbar on his bike, and since he was naturally generous to people, he stopped his bike to see if the man needed any help. The man approached and appeared to be a well-dressed individual. He was wearing a white robe, with honey-brown skin and cornrows on his head, not a single speck of dirt from travel. The man asked if he could hitch a ride with Jabbar, and he agreed to give him a lift. The man climbed on the bike with him, and so he continued down the road. Several miles down the road, the man told Jabbar that they were close to his destination, so he stopped the bike and allowed the man to get off. Then the man walked into the bushes and just disappeared. Jabbar was shocked, and he stood there frozen for a good minute before he snapped back to reality. Jabbar continued to his next destination after that. It's been decades since my mother heard that story from my grandfather, and we believe the man was a lost soul who was a casualty in the war.
What?
This story is about something I experienced about 20 years.
I think I'm scared now. I'm scared as heck. Don't lie. Alright, this next video is called Ring Camera. So it's short horror film. So let me just say this. Yeah, I found it. Thank God. Yeah, it's weird. Halloween. I'm scared. I am very scared. Yes, I am, guys. Alright. Let's get back to you guys. I just want to use it, but I got to. Oh, Jesus, bro. Thanks. Let's get started. Why are you sitting alone? Nope.
Hello?
Why the guy right there?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
You might want to do not turn off your camera. No, he's home. He's not there, right? Is he? What the freak? Is your ring on? What the freak? Have you checked your freaking camera? Got scared again. Please play.
Hey,
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what you want, but you need to leave.
Your ring is already broken, I think.
Did you hear me? Get out!
We gotta do nothing. He's a ghost. He's a ghost. Good job. You just went back and like it twice. What? He's a ghost then. Oh, he's a ghost. Oh no. I'm scared. Alright, dude. Bye. Her neck about to be cracked.
What do you want?
I have a food delivery for Erica.
Delivery. No.
Are you
Erica?
Yes. Did you see anyone else around here?
No. Here's your food.
Oh, this guy's sweet. Look at this way they even care. Absolutely. Where's he? Oh! Oh. Okay, first of all, that was a dumb thing. First of all, you could have do something. I'm just saying. You could have just push him, hit him. Like, just stand up, get. Oh, and you just die. You die. Go speak. Just a bit about that. Alright, the last video, guys, is Five Nights at Markpliers. I think I seen it. I think I did Corey's. I just wanna watch it. This is scary enough for me. I didn't watch the full part. I took it out because I got things to do on. Yeah. Alright.
Hello? I just wanted to leave you a message letting you know a little more about the job. Now, you've been hired to watch over Markiplier's house? Yeah, he's a big-time YouTuber guy. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I have.
Now, he's not like other game YouTuber types like your PewDiePies or your Jacksepticeye's. No, he loves milk. And frankly, I'll tell you something, he can't get enough of it. So, I left about 3 gallons of whole milk in the basement, or was it 2? I don't know. There should be enough to keep him satisfied for the night, or at least I hope. But if he runs out of milk, he gets, well, we don't need to go into all of that, so be careful for all, you know. Also, his house is ran on milk energy, so you only have so much power for the night. But you should be okay. Just keep checking the cameras and only close the doors if absolutely necessary.
Got it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Markiplier. Oh, God. Oh, I can smell your bones from
I feel uncomfortable for this.
Sweet, sweet calcium. Oh, I need more.
I think I feel comfortable right now. I feel comfortable right now. Nah. Please stop. You're making me weird, right? You're making me uncomfortable.
Calcium. It's so hard making history every day. Oh, God, I'm so sexy. Oh, the milkman's being shy in his room. Oh, you silly cow. You have all the milk, don't you?
Right?
Oh, it's so hard being me. The crowd scream, and they scream for me. Glory comes at such a heavy price.
This is... Hold on, let me restart back over, right? Let me just restart this. This is what I want to do right now. The door. I should open the other one so I could run off. Oh wait, they gotta kill me. No, it's easier to catch me because there are like electronics. They smile, but no, no, the smile, bro. 5 Nights at Marketplace. Oh my god, bro.
The milk, don't you?
No. Come on, I'm dead.
Oh, it's so hard being me. The crowd scream, and they scream for me.
I seen you before
Glory
that.
comes at such a heavy price.
That just ruined my night. I can't sleep. Oh, that was creepy, bro. Why would I do that? Five Nights at Marketplace. I mean, he would do that. That was 5 Nights. He's a king, though, you guys. He's a king. You know, he's like, he knows. But Corey is too. A lot of OGs played that, you guys. Yeah. There's a lot of times OG played, like, some games like that. But I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. It was creepy. But let me know. Let me know what you think of this video, and let me know Final Fantasy 2 will be coming in right now, you guys, because I've been beating this game for like a week and a half. I haven't I keep down like 5 times, but shortly I keep deleting the parts of it because they one of those that got upset. But tell you guys, I'll see you in the next video. See ya right here. Bye guys. Alright, I'm gonna get the freak out of here. It's time. I can put this on. God dang it. Now, it may be. I was embarrassed.